Okay, here's another thought that I want to share. As I was thinking, why is it that we always focus on the worst case scenario first? And it's honestly because that's how we're raised. We're raised, as a child. One of the first things we're taught when we start to explore and is stranger danger. Be afraid of people who aren't behaving in the way we tell society they need to behave. If they're behaving outside of these parameters, then you need to be very afraid. And so we've been brought up in this world to stay in fight or flight. And we never really get to enjoy just how much beauty is all around us. And this whole societal existence is really a giant misunderstanding. Everyone's just being misunderstood for who they truly are. Like I said in my previous message, our essence is who we come into this world to be. And Jesus said, be like the little children. And that's not from a religious context. That's just from be like the little children. Another thing I heard yesterday is we spend our childhood years longing to be an adult. And then when we become adults, we find ourselves going within to rediscover that inner child that basically just got left sitting in the dark when they were holding the light the whole time. They've been holding that light of, spark and creativity, imagination, and then we imagine magical things and we're told, that's crazy. Stop thinking that way. Think this way. You need to be afraid. That's not reality. That's not what life's going to hand you. Yeah, that is what life's going to hand you. Life's going to hand you the view of a beautiful world. I mean, look at all these trees. They're everywhere, and they thrive and they grow. But then they realize they gotta drop some things, and then they regenerate, and every year they grow a little deeper, a little taller. And so when you hear people say, nature gives us examples, we just miss them. So, let's learn to embrace each other just as we are and see the beautiful creation of each person and not be so afraid. Not be so afraid. Take that mask off. Let me see who you are. Let the rest of the world see who you are. So, short little message of just a thought I had, because I caught myself thinking a worst case scenario, and then I paused and I'm like, why do I do that? Why am I doing that? And then it hit me, well, because it's how I was brought up in society, is to look for the danger, look for the things that scare you before anything. So let your nervous system breathe, pause, slow down. I'll share some more of my story at some point, but I will say that for the last 3.5 months, I have simply been being. And guess what? I'm alive. I'm not hurt. I'm not struggling. I'm not starving. I'm not without shelter. I'm not without love. I'm not without care. I'm not without support. My nervous system is just humming because it's balanced. And when I have these thoughts of, you know, dread or doom, I have the capacity to pause and reflect on that and be like, let's go a little deeper. Why am I doing that? And then that's when we realize that the answers are within us, because we are the only ones who experienced the things that put that belief or that fear into our subconscious, you know. So you are what you've been looking for all along. How many times have we heard that? So anyway, a little short message, and with that, have a blessed day.